The Kaminario K2 all-solid-state SAN storage system delivers fast, high-volume snapshots for backup and recovery, as well as development and test. In this demonstration, we will first show the performance figures for running storage I/O on a set of production volumes. We will then create a snapshot, map it to the host, and run the same I/O performance on that snapshot, showing that the performance figures between the production and snapshot volumes are equal. We will then show the I/O performance in parallel on the production and snapshot volumes and demonstrate that the aggregate performance on both is double. First, we examine the disks that are configured in our setup. Let's check the disk properties. Overall, there are 8 Kaminario disks mapped to this host. As you can see, this is a Kaminario disk. The MPIO configuration is set on least queue depth. This provides the best overall performance in a multi-path load balancing environment. We have 4 different paths from our server to the Kaminario K2 storage subsystem. We are opening the I/O meter, our tool to generate I/O on the volumes. Let's check our I/O characteristics for this test. This is a 90% read and 10% writes and fully randomized I/O pattern. Let's add this I/O pattern to our test. We will refresh the disks list and select 8 of the Kaminario disks mapped to this host and run the I/O pattern. We will now see the performance on the production volume using the Kaminario Performance Analysis GUI, which monitors throughput, I/Os per second, and latency. The overall throughput is about 450 megabytes per second, around 100K IOPS, and 160 microseconds latency. We look to list all snapshots in the system, and as this is a new configuration, we see that there are currently no snapshots in the system. We will now create a snapshot from the production volume and confirm that snapshot was created. We can see almost no impact on the performance of the system. The queue time is minimal and has no effect on the overall performance. We will now create a replicate for the snapshot. We will confirm that the replica was created. Let's first stop the I/O meter. We will now map the replica to our server, allowing us to run I/O against the replica. We will then rescan the disks to confirm the host can see the mapped replica. As you can see, we have 16 devices mapped to the host. Let's examine the disk property for a disk. As you can see, this is a Kaminario disk. We will now refresh the disk in the I/O meter to get it to recognize the replica. We will now select the disks that only represent the replica. We would like to run the same I/O load against the replica to see if there are any performance differences between the two. We will use the exact same I/O load pattern and run the I/O meter. As you can see, there are no performance differences between running I/O on production or the snapshot replica. We get the same performance figures as on the production system. We will now stop the I/O meter and reconfigure it to run in parallel on the production volume and snapshot replica. Note, we are changing the number of threads to allow for the same parallelism on twice the amount of disks. As you can see in the Performance Monitor GUI, we now get twice the performance numbers, or over 200,000 I/Os per second, when comparing the two performance figures we received when the test was running either on the production volume or the snapshot replica. Kaminario's fast snapshot technology enables faster backups. It also supports a higher volume of snapshots than legacy SSD SAN arrays. Kaminario is fast, safe, and easy, and is less money than legacy SAN systems. Kaminario is revolutionizing high-performance SSD SAN storage. Kaminario is simply faster and safer.